It's August, and what does that mean? It's time to get out your garden journal. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and tonight we're going to walk through the proven winter gardens and show you what's blooming in August. For those of you who have just started to watch, I've gone through these gardens since April, showing what's blooming. So if you're looking to create a garden that always has something in bloom, you can reference those videos, and we'll put links to them below as well, so that you can create just that perfect garden with always having something in color. So let's go ahead and walk through these gorgeous gardens full of proven winter perennials tonight. We've got two giant garden beds that we're going to be walking through tonight, so make sure to have those journals ready along with a pen. I'm going to mention the plant name, and if you want more information, you can head to our website, gardencrossings.com, where you can get all the details. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of these plants from memory. There's over 200 varieties in this bed, and I don't have all the details saved up in my head, believe me. There's resources for that, and that would be our website. But we're going to try to find the names of the plant that are in bloom in this garden. There's a lot of plant tags, so I'm going to use these as visual cues as well if I'm not sure what the plant's name is. That way you'll know what those varieties are. So let's go ahead and start taking a walk through this garden here. It's nighttime after supper right now, and I think it's a beautiful time to be heading out to the garden. We're going to start off right there front and center. That gorgeous pink tall phlox is called prismatic pink. It's got large clusters of pink blooms and is really just putting on a great late summer show of color. There's going to be a lot of hardy hibiscus in bloom right now as well. So we're going to try to look for tags so we get the right names with the right plants. I can tell you the one there off in the distance is Lilac Crush. Gorgeous, I'm going to say lilac-y pink blooms with the green foliage. What we're going to see in today's garden is going to also have the dark foliage on the hardy hibiscus. So you're in for a real treat, with lots of different hibiscus to be looking at. Here we have Candy Crush with its gorgeous pink blooms. It's got that green foliage as well, a little bit more compact in its habit. Heliopsis, this one here, I do not see the tag on. I believe it's the Touch of Blush. Gorgeous yellow blooms. The thing I like with Heliopsis is that it's a long blooming perennial. It is not deer and rabbit resistant, but it is really gorgeous for those areas of the garden, or for those of you who are gardening maybe in a very drought-prone space. These are very drought-tolerant plants. Phlox Cloudburst is still putting on a little bit of a rebloom right now. This was probably blooming in our June tour, and it's still giving a little bit of color. We've been doing these every month, so you can reference some of those older videos to see what was blooming earlier in the season. In the back there, that dark foliage plant is the Holy Grail hibiscus with its deep, rich red blooms. Nephophia is also going to be a predominant plant in several areas of this garden, and this is Flashpoint with its gorgeous, tall, yellow, kind of a creamy yellow spike. You can see there's a lot more spikes down there as well. This is a great plant for drought-prone areas as well. And I do want to say with a disclaimer, these plants do have to get established before you just let them go and say, hey, you're going to make it. You got to get them established before they are drought-tolerant. The gorgeous grass you're seeing there in front of us is the totem pole grass, Panicum totem pole. I love its columnar upright habit. This is two of them you're seeing there, so it doesn't take up a lot of space, but really does get some great height into the garden. Another hibiscus here. Oh boy, this one, the tag's probably on the other side, so we'll have to see when we're coming around. I believe this one is Cherry Chocolate with its more olive green foliage, and then the nice pink, light pink, white blooms with that heavily veined eye going almost out to the edges of each of those petals. The Nepeta is putting on a little bit more bloom. This is Cat's Meow. You can see kind of all the old spent blooms, but it's put on a bunch of new growth, and it's getting ready to flower again. Another hibiscus here. We'll try to figure out which one this is and pop the name up on the screen because I don't want to lead you astray. But this one's got pretty bright green foliage with a nice bright red bloom. Some Proscia Russian sage. We've got the Denim Lace, another great drought-tolerant plant that puts up these gorgeous purple spikes in mid to late summer. More Heliopsis there. This is the Tuscan Sun. Again, it's beautiful yellow blooms, a long blooming perennial. We've got the Berry Awesome hardy hibiscus, which features more of a dusty pink color flower with nice olive green foliage. Spinderella, again, green foliage with its pink and white blooms. They have kind of a spinning look to them, as the name implies, Spinderella. For those of you who've been watching the Stand By Me clematis in every video every month, they have been blooming. And this video in August is no exception. There's a lot of flower or seed heads on the plant right now, but you can also see there still is a lot of blooms. I think even these seed heads, now that a lot of the flowers have faded, do add some pretty fun interest to this garden or to this plant as well. We've got a few cone flowers blooming in the center of the screen there. Yellow, my darling, I think is the yellow that we're seeing. Here's a hibiscus French vanilla, not blooming, but look at this. They are just loaded with buds waiting to bloom. One thing I do want to point out, and this is a good plant to show you it on, is the summerific hibiscus, our indeterminate bloomers. And basically what that means is they've got buds at the tip, but they've got buds going all the way down the stem. And basically what that means for you as a gardener is more flowers. The old varieties of these hardy hibiscus, all of their blooms were just simply right at the top. You didn't get all of these blooms going down the stem. So they would bloom and quickly they would be out of flower. But this new breeding on the hibiscus has really created a plant that just continues to put out a ton of blooms all, let's say, late July into August long. Here we have the opening act phlox. This is the Pinkadot, and this one was blooming earlier in the season, but you can see how it's doing a pretty nice rebloom as well. Had they gone through and trimmed this back, it would have looked a little bit cleaner. But even so, I mean, look at all those gorgeous flowers right now that are happening. In the center there, cute little guy, was just recently planted, but this is a garnet globe, which is going to be a more compact form. Look at that beautiful red flower. So this plant, just kind of ignore the habit of it right now because it was recently planted, but look at it more for that flower color. We've got the sunset coral phlox doing a rebloom. This is a gorgeous corally pink, and this is part of the Luminary series. And I love that color, especially with some of those dark foliage plants that they're paired with. Another hibiscus blooming. Here we have the Valentine with its gorgeous, big, bright red blooms. And how I can tell this one is Valentine is it's got the really big blooms, but there's kind of a halo-y-ish look there in the center of it. I don't know. It's one I can definitely pick out in a garden as being the summerific Valentine crush. We've got a little bit of the baby's breath or Gypsophilia Festival Star still blooming. This is a great cut flower if you're looking for addition. Baby's breath is always a nice filler with container or cut garden type designs. Silver lining Artemisia, putting on a little bit of flower there. This plant typically is mostly grown for its foliage interest with that beautiful silver serrated edge. These flowers are definitely spent at this point in the season, but I would trim them off. I don't like the looks of those flowers. We've got some echinacea. The fuchsia is bright. Nice habit, a lot of branching, a lot of flowers going on there. And I'm going to apologize right now because, and maybe I shouldn't apologize, but this is going to be a long video. There is a lot to see, folks, and a lot of great things that you do not want to miss. So hopefully you have your coffee in hand because there's a lot you're going to see, including new introductions. Back there is a French vanilla, which is a creamy white hardy hibiscus. New introduction is Lobelia Neon Lights. Nice dark foliage with a bright magenta bloom. Something to look forward to in the next year or two. Heuchera Dolce Wildberry, gorgeous foliage. Just one of those plants that just always is putting on a beautiful show of color. Tucked in the back, we've got a bunch more Heliopsis. There's Tuscan Gold, there's Touch of Blush, and some other new introductions that I'm not seeing the tag on. But what's nice with this is you can kind of see three different varieties different flower forms, and also different foliage interest. All right, some more of the phlox. This is the luminary phlox backlight, excuse me. It's doing its second bloom, just starting to do some second blooms on there. That's what's nice with so many of these proven winter plants is they bloom, and then if you give them a nice trim, they'll bloom again. Sedum coral jade, just starting to come into its flower color with those little shades of blush. Hibiscus ballet slippers. White blooms with just a kiss of pink. If you're loving all these hibiscus, we are going to be putting up another video that is featuring just the hibiscus to do a comparison video of all the colors. So that's something to look for as well. Another tall phlox doing its second bloom. That's one nice thing is a lot of the phlox in the program do bloom not only once, but twice. Amsonia string theory, which was a spring bloomer, but look at that great foliage color, even here later on in the season. Pennisetum puppy love with its chartreuse green foliage, and now it's put up its little plumes. It just looks so beautiful, so soft and airy in this garden right now. More Heliopsis back there, some more sage tucked in the corner. That's kind of a great pairing, actually. The Pennisetum puppy love, the Russian sage, the Heliopsis, and then some daylilies there in the background as well. Opening act, ultra pink, reblooming. Got some cone flowers here. Orange You Awesome. Yellow My Darling. Lakota Fire. More hibiscus. Daylily Shylome Peony Display, which is a nice double daylily. Got the North Pole grass from the back side. Sedum Pure Joy. That'll be blooming in the next video a little better. Just starting to show its little pink blooms. And that's a nice, great ground cover as well. Here we have Nephofia Backdraft, which I think is one of my favorites in the series. It's got that orange and the yellow. Really beautiful. Hibiscus Edge of Night. Not blooming yet, but look at that dark foliage on Edge of Night. Lilac Crush from the backside. Here we've got some Astilbe. They're done flowering, but look at that great dark foliage. All right, we are going to head over to the next garden. So those of you who are this far, we're about halfway through, and we're going to try to zip through this side a little bit quicker because there's a lot of mass planting going on over here. So a lot of these plants are going to be similar to each other. A lot of them have 7 plants planted, and they do that for trials, just so you can get kind of a mass look. More of that Artemisia silver lining, Panicum grass, Cheyenne Sky. Panicum Cheyenne Sky. Eucalyptus Princess Bride. I don't show this one very often because I don't often see it in bloom. Look at that. That's a pineapple lily. Is that not just gorgeous? Here's a few more. I love the looks of that plant. There's going to be a lot of Mengaves in this garden as well. I'm not going to stop and talk about them because they're not all labeled, and I do not know my Mengaves. So I apologize. I'll tell you they are Mengaves, but I don't know which ones they are. In the background, you'll see some Nephofia. There's 2 different varieties here. These are also known as red hot pokers. And I love the way their spikes add interest into the garden. Primal Scream Daylily with its gorgeous orange and extra large big blooms. New variety coming out for next year. A new Nepeta with chartreuse foliage. So this is something to look forward to. It's not blooming right now, but that foliage is still quite pretty. Treasure Trove Rebecca. Excellent Habit. Not seeing any black spot on them. A whole bunch more here. Is that not just a gorgeous habit? A little bit taller. They're about 3 foot tall and just loaded with these gorgeous blooms. Another new variety coming out in the next year or 2. I'm going to probably say it wrong, so I'm just going to show you the tag. It's called Burgundy Buzz. It's a new plant variety to me, so I don't know how to say it. And I know people don't get mad when I say things wrong. But just a cute little habit with those burgundy little flowers on the tip. Actually looks really pretty with that gold in the background. Cookies and cream. Are you getting hungry now? Here we've got gorgeous hibiscus cookies and cream with that deep, dark black foliage. And what's special about this plant is it has pure white blooms. So this is something unique, and you don't see this very often. And I believe, if it's still true, this is the first dark-leafed hibiscus with that pure white flower on it. And the nice thing is these are compact as well. They're only about 3 foot tall, so they didn't and don't get very large in the garden. All right, what else do we have here? Oh, some new bleeding heart white diamonds, a lot like the pink diamonds. These bloom all summer long, so if you're looking for a long blooming, hard-working perennial, white diamonds, Dicentra. And yes, these do grow in full sun. We've got some more pineapple lily here. A little bit darker foliage and a darker flower. This is the purple rain. I'm going to try to see if we can get the lighting on it so you can see how beautiful that flower is. Here's another one here with its gorgeous purple flower spikes. This is actually the first time I've seen this in the gardens at this mature state, to see what this plant actually looks like as a really nice mature specimen. We've got some sedum in here as well. That's really dark, gorgeous, and I love how that's paired with the silver of the silver lining. All right, lots to see, folks. There's some white Gara in the background. I'm not sure what the story is on that white Gara, if that's a new introduction or if they just put that in here. This area of the garden has a lot of white and black, so they might have just put it in for some airy contrast, or who knows, maybe it's something we'll see in the future as well. We've got some allium blooming here, and this is actually a new allium coming out. This is Allium All the Buzz. A little bit smaller flowers than Millennium. But it's a very nice, rich, deep purple color. More Kniphofia in the back there. This is Solar Flare Kniphofia with its gorgeous bright yellow spikes. Doesn't that look so pretty with the black of the back and black sedum? Ah, that is such a gorgeous look. And you've got the black and the yellow, and in the background there, you've got the Rudbeckia that's yellow. That is such a cool look. More of the clematis, Stand By Me. Now these ones here, they did not put into a support or a trellis. And you can see how they're just kind of meandering on the ground. This is a non-cling clematis, so it doesn't wrap around its structure. So this is one that you would want to plant in like a trellis type structure or something that can cage it, or else it's going to do exactly what we're seeing here, and that's just meander on the ground, which I think has its own nice look as well. In the background there, you're seeing lemon jade sedum. It's more of a tone on tone. It's like a green on green. But look at that. Look how that chartreuse green really pops in this garden. We've got some Veronica there reblooming, or some salvia. I'm not even sure what that is. It doesn't have the tag. I think that's salvia purple profusion there, actually. So that's a pretty nice rebloom going on. A new yucca coming out, Dragon Slayer. That's pretty nice looking. So yucca usually send up their flower every other year. So if you get a year where you don't get a flower, it's probably in the other of the every other year for flowers. We've got more of the gorgeous Astilbe here. This one is Dark Side of the Moon. Nice black. It's done flowering right now. It has nice, beautiful purple spikes, and you'll see that in the earlier season video. But even with those black, now the flowers have turned black, that too just adds some really cool interest into this garden bed. All right, I was trying to find the name earlier. Rocket's Red Glare. That is the red Kniphofia that we're seeing here with that little bit of yellow. I love that. We've got Sedum Yellow Brick Road blooming right now. It's in its prime with its gorgeous yellow blooms. I feel like I keep saying gorgeous, but it is. Everything out here is truly that. It's gorgeous. Sedum Coral Jade. We've also got some more of the heuchera here, the wild berry, the wild rose, excuse me, wild rose heuchera. And then in the background here, here's another new plant. And I don't know the name of this one. So something to look forward to probably in the next 2 years. But this will be a new introduction from Proven Winners. It's a lot like that smaller one we saw just a little bit ago. But this one's almost 3 to 4 foot tall. And it's got these burgundy blooms. So kind of just one of those plants that you can add into the garden that you know is going to become large. It's kind of a filler, kind of a wispy feel in this garden bed. A little bit messy looking. But I'm sure you have that place in your garden where you're just looking for something airy and filling. And that would do just that. Oh man, some more beautiful grasses. This one is called Blue Heaven. Schizocarium Blue Heaven. So another new introduction. And then at the end here, we've got the black and back sedum. Black and back and black. Wow, that feels like a tongue twister. With its nice dark foliage color going on as well. And then the last plant I want to show you, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have some for 2026, is one of my favorite plant varieties, which is an Alstroemeria. And this is the Alstroemeria Summer Break. That is absolutely stunning. I love Alstroemeria because they're a very long blooming flower and are great for cut flowers, lasting up to 2 weeks in a vase. Thanks for walking through the garden with me this evening. Hopefully there are some varieties that you saw in today's video that are something new to you, something you haven't seen before. We did touch on a lot of new introductions, so hopefully things that you can write in your book coming soon. As I mentioned, some of those new introductions may be another year or 2 or even maybe 3 years out. So I can't promise we'll have them next year, but something definitely to keep in mind in the coming years. If you have any questions or comments on any of the varieties we've seen today, please leave them in the comments below. And you can head to our website, gardencrossings.com. If there's anything you're looking for today and want more information on and or want shipped directly to your door. If there is a question on any of the plants, just leave me the timestamp of where you saw it so I know where to look, and I'd be happy to answer those questions as well. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.